Welcome back to another video. Today I am going to show you how to fetch the weather data from an API service and to display that data on the LCD screen. So let's start by creating the weather API. So search for this website weatherapi.com. Simply click on this and you will get this kind of interface. And you need to create your account by clicking on the sign up button if you haven't already. And I have already created my account, so simply I will go to the dashboard and here you will get your free API key, which is for the trial version. So my trial version is ending on 26th of June and we will use this API in our program. Now let's have a look at the program. So start by importing all these libraries: Wi-Fi.h for establishing the communication, HTTP client to send the request to the API, ArduinoJson to accept the data received from the API, Y.h for the I2C communication, and Liquid Crystal I2C.h for the LCD display. And here create the instance of the LCD display. Here 0x27 is the I2C address and LCD is of 16 columns and 2 rows. And enter here your Wi-Fi credentials like network name and the password. And this is the API key that we just created. Now here enter the city name which you want the weather data of, and here this is the country code. And we are creating some of the weather variables like temperature, humidity, wind speed and condition. Now each of these variables will persist on the screen for 4 seconds. And after every 5 minutes the weather data will be updated. And in the setup function we are establishing the communication of the ESP with the network. Now here comes the main function, which is loop. So if the difference between the current time and the weather timer is greater than the weather interval, then we are updating the weather. And also update the weather timer with the current time. And after every 4 seconds we are displaying the next variable and increasing the index by 1. And if the screen index is greater than 3, it means we have displayed all the variables like temperature, humidity, wind speed and the condition. So setting the screen index back to 0. Now in this function we are checking whether the ESP is connected to the internet or not. And this is the URL which we fetch the data from. Now this is the domain name. V1 means version 1 of API. Current.json means we want to fetch the current data. And this API key and the city both will be appended in this string to get the full URL. And in this line the ESP is sending the request to the API for fetching of the data. And if the ESP has successfully sent the request to the API, then we are receiving the response from the API and storing that response in the payload variable. Now you need to note that the API is sending the JSON text, but the ESP cannot directly read the JSON text. You need to first convert that text into the JSON object. So for that purpose we are using this ArduinoJson library here. And in this line we are creating one instance of that library, dynamic JSON document. And this 2048 is basically the size in bytes of that JSON object. And we are also defining the error here. Suppose if your JSON object is bigger but you have not allocated enough size for that, so you will get this error here. So in that case you need to increase this number to a higher value like 4096. Otherwise if there is no error, then we can freely fetch the data like temperature, humidity, wind speed and the condition. And this is the function to display all the variables on the LCD screen one by one. So there are total 4 cases. One case for temperature, one for wind speed, other for condition and the last one for the city. So how did you like this video? Let me know in the comment section, and if you want me to use temperature and humidity sensor in this project, comment down sensor in the comment section and I will see you in the next one. And thanks for watching this video.